Alrighty. Well, went out and bought quite a bit of fabric, quite a substantial amount. Yeah, I've been sort of rained out a bit today, so I'm be stuck inside. Got a fair bit of the shit cleared off the front lawn. Unfortunately, I didn't get the, what's his name, all the roof sheets. I was going to, but that was the same day that I changed cars and was moving all the stuff from one car to the other car. And yeah, got back and done a few things here, but the wind was just starting to pick up a little bit, and it was getting later. I had to get ready for work the next day and all that, and then I never sort of got to move them, and the wind picked up and it hasn't stopped since. But anyway, this is just this whole equinox thing. Still got a few things I have to deal with before winter sets right into it. It's been raining a little bit this morning, but we're not too bad. But anyway, it's fairly cool. But yeah, I went and bought some fabric, and as I often do, but this time it was very, very, very cheap. Shockingly cheap. In fact, it was $2 a metre. And this wasn't from the discount place. This was from the normal place I go to. And I think it's like the end of the summer season stuff, because a lot of it's very thin, and some of it was fairly shit colours, and some of it was a fairly weak weave. It would fray rather easy, but I went and picked out some reasonable-ish stuff, and yeah, it cost me $2 a metre, which is just about unheard of. And yeah, got this one here. It's actually a stretch. It stretches quite a lot, actually, this. Honestly, I think I've seen this used for a maternity dress or something before, previously, and it would probably suit that sort of thing, because it stretches so much. This stuff here looks a bit like a weave when you look at it. Looks like a knit when you look up close. Yeah, you guys probably almost seen it. You can see the little lines. It sort of actually looks like a knit. It really does. Just a material that's used for it. But when you actually look at the raw edge, it is indeed a weave, and it does indeed fray. You see, I just had one there, just pulling it a bit out. So yeah, but it really honestly looks like a knit, but I realised that it was a weave initially, but just, I don't know, it's sort of like a textured pattern to it. Makes it look like a knit. But anyway, a lot of these are actually polyester, actually almost a whole lot of them are. And I sort of was going through the stack, and most of them are, it's not, summer cotton prints, it was almost entirely polyester. Of course, I went to the other joint that I went to. That's some more of that. You guys already seen that. And where's the other side? There you go. That'd be a good one for Marsha to wear when he has his gay wedding. No, I sort of really like gold and things. I just give it this thing about gold fabric. And yeah, I've got to get on and make that bag today too, because this cousin's birthday is only a week off, so this is sort of basically the last week. I've got to do it. Theoretically I could do it next weekend because the birthday's on Sunday, but I've got to go to this blasted sale on Saturday, a car boot sale, and I may very well pick up some cheap sewing machines, so I want to go up there just to see. A lot of people, clear out old stuff, and sewing machine hasn't been used in years, and hey, we might be getting lucky. There's also another garage sale that I might swing by too, just to see if they've got anything. I've sort of been looking a bit at these knitting machines and stuff like that. My sister actually got one back in the 90s or whatever. Nah, was it 90s? No, it was the early 2000s. She got one off someone else who had lost interest, and it wasn't one of these shitty kids' toy ones that I see on YouTube where they have, all plastic. This thing was completely steel, and she's still got it. And you know, you put in a fairly fine weave of stuff, and you just sit there. There's a piece that you hold onto that skims back and forward. It's almost like a loom sort of thing, and you just sit there with this handle sitting on this railing with all these pin things sticking out of it, and just swipe the handle back and forward, and just sit there, and it just spits out an entire fucking scarf or whatever. It's quite a intriguing little thing, and if I can ever lay my hands on one of those, by hell I will be, and I'll put the motor on the frickin' thing and it'll be making shit. There was someone in, a Spanish guy in England who bought one out, and oh look, you know, and he bought out several others that I frankly think looked and seemed a bit better, and this one, oh, it was computerised, and you got software and you can print off a knit without a problem, except it's as thin as fuck. You're not really going to print a jumper out from the damn thing, unlike this one my sister had, you know, and I mean, hers, you know, bits and pieces you had to do, you know, as you change, want to change the size, go in thinner, you had to push down certain bits before you kept going. This one he's got, it only does about freaking 8 or 10 inches wide. You know, oh, but you can print out accessories and da-da-da-da-da, and it's nowhere near as wide as his original prototypes were. You know what the cost of this fucking thing is? €7,000. In Australian terms, that's $10,000. In US terms, it's probably about $7,500. Yeah. Whoa, I made a scarf. It only cost me $7.5 grand for the machine. Why would you fucking bother? Oh, it's revolutionary. Revolutionary if you're stupid enough to pay $7 grand to get something you could get for $5. Bloody dumb. You know, and you still got to buy all the material and like all the wool and, you know, thread or whatever after you've paid your $7,000, $10,000. Frickin' hell, you know. It might sound great, but it's just not realistically priced. Anyway, here's the other one I've got. Now this really looks like cotton drill when you initially look at it. Or chino, which is basically thin cotton drill. And the camera's showing it a rather nice colour, just because I've got the flash turned on. The reality is it's not quite as nice as you're seeing. It's a little bit more of a drab navy blue, to be honest. It's not quite as glossy as the camera's showing it. First time the camera's actually showing something better than it actually is. But anyway, so I think I got worked out 49 metres, which, well, technically speaking, it's probably about 51 yards, something like that, maybe 53 yards or something. I think that one's 16 metres, 18. Oh, I don't know. Do the maths and you'll work out how much there is on that one up there. And then I went and got myself the 10 metres of the gold stuff. So anyway, that was $2 a metre. You know, the whole 49 metres between those three I just showed there, you know, $98. That works out, well, basically $74.50 US or something like that. You know, and it's like 53 yards of shit, you know. It's quite good, really. Very good price. And there's a lot of times you won't see prices like that. You can get down to $5 a metre, but you really got to hit the right time and the right end of season and the right place and whatnot. But that was the place that I usually have my little, you know, me member card and all that stuff. And the long and short of it is, they occasionally have sales, and they are occasionally shockingly cheap. And you know, sometimes you hit a flaming winner. And that time I didn't go to the normal store I went to. I went to one of the bigger stores that they have, and so I'd wander in there because I had to get some gold fabric, and the gold fabric place is intelligently put its shop only 2 doors down from this main fabric joint that's one of a major national franchise. And I thought, bugger it, I'll go and have a look at the franchise one, see if there's anything good on the cheap, and I definitely hit the jackpot there.